Hello, welcome back to C Live Noding. In this episode, we're gonna do a little bit of study. It's based and inspired by this work by Saskia Freke. I think she did a lot of geometric kind of animations, and I found this quite interesting. A lot of kind of very subtle animations, but kind of intricate looking. This is actually this is one of my favorites. It's you can see the shapes is changing from kind of like two extreme shapes. Um, there are a lot of variation of this, and I think it's really interesting. So I decided to make it. Yeah, I think we can make shapes like this. If you look at it, kind of like closely, you can see it's kind of like there's like a plus shapes on one extreme, and there's another one that looks like a Apple command symbol. So Apple command. So so let's Google it real quick. So Apple command key looks something like that, like the Saskia works. So I'll try to make that first. I'll do it manually this time, but this can be done procedurally as well. But for now, let's just do it by hand. I'll start with a cube and place it in the center. I'll go to the top view and then orthographic, and I'll go to edit mode, hitting tab, and gonna merge it into center. So we have single dots there, and I'll snap it. I'll turn on snapping, incremental snapping. So, and I will start drawing the shape. So let's hopefully this work as we want it. I'm zooming in really close, and so there's turn on snapping and yeah, okay. The snapping actually works depending on the grid scaling here. So I'll start from this corner. I'll make something like this. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the one in the middle here needs to kind of connect with one another. I have to do it really carefully. I'll select these two and then merge in the center, and then I'll kind of move it back. Okay, I think we have the shape. So that's the this is Saskia Freke study. So that's the shape, quite intricate, quite interesting, and we want to kind of turn this into a plus kind of shape. So I'll create duplicates. I don't need to see the grid anymore, although I guess I'm just gonna keep it for now. What I'm gonna do is to use Blender Smooth modifier and kind of magically turning it into something like that looks like a plus sign. I think this is the one. Okay, so I think we can sort of get it. I'll hit apply and I'll go inside, and maybe I should try the snapping again. So the snapping doesn't actually snap on the square. I guess it's okay. We don't need to be too accurate. I will just kind of eyeballing it. So it's gonna be like a freehand kind of modeling. So pushing that. Okay, this should be pushed like that. Like that. been a while since I'm doing this kind of manual modeling. Anyway, we got it, and let's try to match it to our command symbol. Reshape this. So the main idea here is to have two different shapes, and then we're gonna do like a blend shape or shape keys between the two. So it doesn't need to be perfect, I guess, just close enough. Okay, so we have the plus sign. Cool, now we have these two. I'll save it again, save many times, and then I'm gonna do like a shape kind of a transformation between the two. Select both and then shape join as shapes, and one of them should have the shape keys. This guy, okay, this guy is becoming the master. We can hide this one, and this one we can animate. You see, we get the animation that's very similar to what the Saskia is doing. We can turn this into a curve. Actually, maybe not the curve. Let me think. Well, I guess we can animate this using animation nodes or Sverchoks. I guess I will be using animation nodes to do the instancing first of all. So object instancing and get this guy as the master. Turn off magnets. Get this guy turn off always. Let's make it depends how many we want. Let's use a grid here. Plain grids. Okay, grid. Vertices goes to the instance. Object transform output. Let's arrange our objects. So okay, we have that. We can actually hide the master and turn off relationship lines, turn off grid floor. So we have these objects. Now we can start animating each one of these procedurally. Yeah, let's try. I was gonna use Sverchok, but maybe it's a good idea to just use animation nodes in this case for simplicity. Okay, so we are gonna animate this guy, which is the shapes. Have a look. PPY data shape keys, blah blah blah. Okay, let's do that. Attribute output. So this is the objects. We actually have this option for multiple values now, which is neat. Paste this. PPY.data shape keys. Actually, this thing we can do it this way. Key not found. Maybe just the shape keys. Attribute not found. Key not found. Okay, let's check the key actually. Probably we don't need that. Value has wrong type. Okay, that's better. Float animation. Let's animate the float value for this guy. Here we go. It's starting to take shapes. Probably gonna turn on multiple values. Let me think. This one. Do we have multiple values? Maybe we can kind of animate it in using sine wave. Animate float actually doesn't seem to take multiple values. Let me think. Frame and math. Float math. Will this guy takes multiple value? I'm not quite sure. Sine wave, frame, maybe. Okay, that's interesting. Add. What if I create like random number? Plug this guy in. It does actually take multiple value. Same with the sine wave. Debug. Check the result. Okay, it takes multiple value. How many objects do we have? Grid, 10 by 10, 100. Keep it simple, make it 4. And we can scale this guy a little bit. And let's animate this real quick. 4 by 4, 16. They looks like kind of squeezed. Float input. Now they look kind of squeezed. Wonder why. Interesting. Oh, turn on that. Okay. Animate between 0 and 1. That means we can use this sine wave goes in there. Value has the wrong type. Multiple values. Okay, now it seems to be working. It's a so there is some kind of randomness, and then there's also this animations that goes between -1 and 1. We don't want it to go under. We need to make the value between 0 and 1, so we use mapping. So there's a lot seems already happening inside animation nodes. So it's a little bit. It's very vectorized now. It's very cool. So this random number is actually giving offset to our frame, and everything goes in there, and then kind of randomizing the whole thing. I can make this slower perhaps, times, okay, duplicate this, make it multiplier, 0.2. A lot of things, a lot of neat thing underneath animation nodes, making everything becoming very, very smooth kind of experience, I found. Okay, now we have this going on, very cool. Now this guy is of course a mesh, and a mesh doesn't render unless you turn it into like an object. So I'm gonna grab all these, bring this into a Sverchok, objects in, get selection, and just pipe this into polyline. So this will hopefully generate our curve. Aha, it's kind of working. Matrix apply, because we need to apply the transformation. Hopefully everything works properly. Turn on close, B-spline. Okay, we have a funny thing that's going on. So animation works. Shape keys. Okay, interesting. Shape keys doesn't read inside Sverchok. That's kind of new for me. Very interesting. Maybe I need to turn on pause modifier. Okay. Apparently, yeah, I need to turn off pause modifier, and then this guy. Turn off B-spline. Okay, that's a little bit better. So polyline viewer is almost perfect, except that because this guy is like a fully enclosed, maybe I need to reshuffle the points a little bit or resample it. Another way is really to just use a skin measure, so that will work. There we go. We get the shapes working. I have to delete the polyline viewer. Maybe delete. Probably select all that Sverchok generates. This is called beta. I'll select all the alpha. Select pattern alpha. So we don't need this curve. We just have this polyline viewer. Okay, now it works properly for us. Perfect. Okay, there you go. That's kind of simulating what's Saskia made. It's geometric animations. I really like this kind of animations. Time to time, I always find this to be inspiring, and I was thinking to recreate something like this. The nice thing about this, of course, everything is procedural. You can always go back, make adjustment with the animations, make different kind of offset. Maybe you can always make more very easily. 8 by 8, and suddenly you have different animations. 8 by 8, 64. You need 64 here. So we have new animations. Probably it's a good idea to group all of them, and a lot of tidy up. But anyway, yeah, this is how you can generate something like this, like a geometric type of animations. Hopefully you find this interesting and useful. Let me know what you think. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.